Hello everyone, welcome back for some more thrift store finds. I have another huge carload of stuff from the Goodwill bargain bins. I was not anticipating going back again this week, but I'm really glad that I did because it ended up being a great morning. So yeah, for an unanticipated haul, this is huge. Start off with some VHS, we'll get into the Blu-ray and DVD and all kinds of books and things like that. For VHS, some classic Goosebumps, great thing from my childhood, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp VHS, as well as this version of Dumbo. I almost never pick up Disney clamshell VHS. They are 99% of the time worthless, but I stumbled upon this older pink cover version of Dumbo at one point, and it sold really quickly just because it's a lower print run, and found another one today in pristine condition, so I grabbed that. Twins, a sealed copy of The Christmas Secret, and a sealed Blair Witch Project. Barney and Friends, Let's Pretend with Barney, and Cloak and Dagger. Then getting into the Blu-ray, a nice little stack before a ton of DVDs. Beauty and the Beast, the live-action remake. Edward Scissorhands, sealed Blu-ray with that the Deadpool cover. They did a whole bunch of movies where they released those like a collectible Deadpool cover. Disney's Moana, How to Be Single, Law-Abiding Citizen, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, Equalizer, the 75th anniversary edition of Gone with the Wind, really pretty cover art there. Four Christmases, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Disney's Aladdin, the Diamond Collection, Party edition of Trolls. I've seen this one before, this, was it Prep and Landing? These weird CG animated elf Christmas movies coming in style, and Sing. And starting off the DVDs with a bunch of Disney, we have Pirates of the Caribbean, Fantasia 2000, Toy Story 3, a different Fantasia 2000 release, a two-disc version there, Princess and the Frog, The Rescuers, Frozen, The Incredibles, Little Mermaid, Lilo and Stitch, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the 50th anniversary edition of Lady and the Tramp, 40th anniversary of The Jungle Book, Brave, and Disney's Hercules. And a bunch of these Superbook DVDs. I found a handful of them the other day, and I found 4 more of them this morning. Some different variations of the different Twilight releases. This is kind of a series along with the Harry Potter and stuff that I kind of hold on to until I have a complete set and pick up randomly different variations, as long as they're really cheap. If they're like a couple pennies a piece, that's about it. And then getting into one of these 5 stacks that I have here. We have Date Night, Guess Who, The Sixth Day with Arnold, Banger Sisters, Gettysburg, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Weird Science, Nazis at the Center of the Earth. Interesting looking B-movie. This is such a good movie, but we have Bram Stoker's Dracula, the 2-disc collector's edition. I have a super bit of this movie that I absolutely adore, one of my favorite super bits, so it's a really good movie. Blade 2, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Underworld, Fun with Dick and Jane, Sum of All Fears, CSI Season 9, the Chronicles of Riddick trilogy set, some Tom and Jerry tales, Belly, no idea who this guy is, but it's a DVD and music CD, so it must be a something with music, An American Tail, True Blood, complete 4th season, Runaway Bride, The Princess Bride, 6 Days and 7 Nights, Dinner for Schmucks, Bruce Lee, Fists of Fury, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Open Season, Purple Rain, The Lake House, Wedding Crashers, Beetlejuice, it's a Natural Killers close-up series, Polar Bears, Alexander, Director's Cut, An Officer and a Gentleman, Zodiac, The Abbott and Costello Show, Matilda, Primal Fear, a Gwyneth Paltrow collection. We have Emma and Shakespeare in Love, Robin Hood, the Russell Crowe Robin Hood, The Girl Next Door, Spider-Man 2, Remington Steele, Bad Teacher, the complete third season of Vikings, Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, Wonder Park, How to Train Your Dragon, Time Changer, Die Another Day, Lethal Weapon 4. From the collector's edition of Diablo 2, this is the DVD with all of the cinematic cutscenes and things from Diablo 2. I remember when they did this, Blizzard, around like early, like 2003, 4, somewhere around there. They did that with a bunch of games. They used to have the one when Warcraft 3 first came out. I remember that was really, really cool. So it's the Diablo 2 collector's edition DVD. Saturday Night Fever, Castaway, Tomb Raider, Prince of Persia, the complete collection of Jim Henson's The Storyteller, the Greek Myths part of that series, Euro Trip, another 6 Days and 7 Nights, Neighbors, another classic, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Life as a House, the Three Ninjas trilogy. I remember renting these on VHS when those were first coming out, especially that first one. A little bit of the second, third, I remember watching maybe once or twice, but that first one I used to watch all the time, and Surf Ninjas. That was kind of that second wave of TMNT starting in the late 80s and through the 90s, and the next generation when those TMNT, the live action movies are coming out, first half in the 90s. That was like a big thing. The Jack Ryan triple feature collection, The Bear, Bad Santa, the first of the Fast and Furious movies, Turbo, Kung Fu Panda Holiday, Ceremony, House Bunny, Batman Begins, another How to Train Your Dragon, Shooter and Four Brothers, Face Off and Snake Eyes, a Nicolas Cage double feature, Forrest Gump, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Titanic, Les Mis, the Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3 collection box set, Thumbelina, Stardust, Unstoppable, Season 1 of Monk, a Western double feature, another double feature with 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and a fish called Wanda, the 2-disc edition of The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, Women of the Bible, Hide and Seek, Chicago, Mission Impossible 3, Fellowship of the Ring, Regarding Henry, Casino Royale, another Spider-Man 2, the Golden Age of TV Comedy Collection, I've seen that one before, it wasn't too bad, The Patriot, Mystic Pizza, White Chicks, the Smurfs 4 movie collection, The Hangover, Stand By Me, Blades of Glory, and Fight Club. And finishing off the DVDs before we get into some books with something kind of odd. If you watched the last video just a couple of days ago, last time we were at the bins, found a sealed DVD of this baby massage. Something really bizarre, but something that apparently people are looking for. So alright, so I have one of those up on the store, and then today I'm looking through the bins like, well, for like $1, I'll grab 14 more copies. Might as well. Sealed copies of that, and a couple of those I will be pairing with. Then I found also with them the first year milestones, all about the first year, kind of like parental guidance type stuff, and same series, so I found 4 of those. Something very odd, but sometimes those are the kind of things that do really, really well. So something strange for the store. Finish off the DVDs, and we'll get into the books. Some kid and young adult stuff, and then some regular books. We have Dragon Pearl, some Magic Treehouse, Junie B. Jones, I Survive books, the Dear America, one classic Goosebumps, always really good, and in fantastic shape, looks pretty much brand new, but Why I'm Afraid of Bees, Dark Room, another Animorphs, and part of the Star Wars Rebels, so a good amount of kids' books. Some David Weber and Timothy Zahn with Book 1 of the Manticore Ascendant, A Call to Duty, hardcover. Shadow of a Century, Star Trek Probe. Some Robert Jordan. One of the classic covers, Dragons of Spring Dawning from the Chronicles trilogy. These are the covers that I grew up with. There's been lots of different reprints of this particular cover, so those are really cool. Wild Hunt. George Eliot. A Mind to Murder and Good Omens. Wuthering Heights. 101 Hippie Jokes. Something interesting there. One of the classic Conan books. George R. R. Martin, A Knight of Seven Kingdoms. And this is an illustrated edition. There's all kinds of different drawings throughout the whole thing, so it's kind of cool. A Time to Harvest. Star Trek series, The Hands of Chaos, part of the Deathgate cycle. These were really good read back in the day. The Magnificent Ambersons, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Carl Sagan's Comet. It's been an interesting read. This is definitely one that I'll want to read through and flip through before it goes anywhere. It's kind of a cool one. And then a few tabletop gaming type things. A Warhammer 40k manual. I'm not sure exactly what this one is. Some Warhammer stuff I know what it is. Some I do not. I'm not a big, tabletop gaming person with Warhammer, but I know a lot of people who are. That's why I know what some stuff is, but it's pretty cool. So anything, Warhammer, especially 40k, I'll pick up. And then a few books from the Codex Battle Zone and Armageddon, Battle Zone, City Fight, and Orcs. So any kind of Games Workshop stuff is always cool to grab, especially for like a few pennies. So that was everything this morning. Fantastic morning. I'm very happy that I decided to go, because again, I was not anticipating going. It was not in my plans, but made a last minute change. Like, hey, I'm going to go one more time. And so yeah, and then just a couple of days, we have over the weekend the huge annual library book sale, so I'll be back for that, and hopefully that's going to be amazing. You'll see me all 3 days. I'll do a video for that. A lot of fun, so hope your summer is going well, and I'll see you pretty soon for that book sale.